Coming at you from Scratcher Wolf Studio, it's Rage Across the Internet presents Wherever Gaia Takes Us, a Werewolf the Apocalypse Let's Play. Starring
Daniel Tyson as Ricochet.
M as Carly Emberstring.
CJ as Nightfang.
And I'm your storyteller, Porter. In the Dark, Chapter 5. Dave says. The three of you approach the address you were given. Approaching the apartment building, you can see Dave, who lingers on a balcony at the second floor, a cigarette in one hand, rocks glass with some sort of brown liquor in the other. He looks down, giving you a nod, and steps inside. A few seconds later, the door buzzes.
Open the door and nodding for the others to go in.
Stepping right in.
Yeah, heading in.
He meets you in the building, outside the building, waves you in. Lucinda's apartment is adorned with the standard IKEA furniture, white Christmas lights along the windows. There are one too many throw pillows on a retro hand-me-down couch, a few women's magazines. On the coffee table, alone with her floral coasters, there's a teddy bear with a blue ribbon necktie and a floral pattern couch. A few bottles of booze and a breakfast bar, as well as a couple rocks glasses, clearly a newer edition. A small TV with large stereos sit in the corner, and picture frames adorn the walls, just about every flat surface. Images of her championship high school cheerleading team, pictures of her and her parents on vacation. There's a picture of her and Dave in a close embrace outside of a building in town. She has a rose in her hair. Dave looks content.
Out of all the pictures, that's the only one of her and Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that you can see, yeah.
Okay. So still a new thing.
Well, you've only been on the island a couple months.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was in the hospital because you guys allowed her to get cleaved near in half, if you recall.
Allowed.
You were supposed to be watching her. I mean, I guess you did watch her get cleaved.
So, Dave, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. That's a perfectly fair question. He walks over to the bar and topping up. He pulls at his tie and removes his blood-stained shirt, revealing a white undershirt. He drapes the discarded clothing over one of the chairs, then looks at the three of you. Is it taken care of?
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before anybody can dig through there, I think, but killed everything that was spooky, we think.
Everything else was eaten or killed, so...
He closes his eyes, rubbing them with his thumb and middle finger. He flips over a couple more rocks glasses, pouring each of you 2 fingers of some amber liquid. Effortlessly taking them in hand, he hands them out. This fucking island.
Yeah. Well,
You can certainly say that, and that thing's gonna try taking a sip.
and they kind of look side to side, and where's Lucinda now?
She's safe. She passed out. Glad you guys were nearby with this.
Yeah, we were told to look for you, and you had some information.
Yeah, I think they just wanted me to keep an eye on the three of you.
Hey, right place, right time in this case, because of it.
That makes sense. And I'll sniff the drink he gave me and then set it down on one of the coasters. Just sniff it.
All right.
Set it down.
Well, I'm going to look at you two and just slam it. Probably be like...
That was probably a mistake.
I mean, I'm sure you remember your first whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You go ahead and act accordingly, guys.
Feel a little bit of burn, but like, yeah, it's pretty good.
He takes another sip and grabs his cigarettes, heading back for the deck. Giving a little nod of the head.
Mm-hmm. You follow him then?
Yep. Gonna just set that glass off to the side and follow out.
So what do we know about all that?
I was attacked by one of these even before I was on the island.
Yeah, and we fought one of them as well in the Wendy's not too long after getting here. And then, like, there was that one that did the weird... It did something weird to two of them, and it was something we hadn't fought before.
What do you mean it did something to them?
Like, bulked them up. I think one of them got covered in, like, more bones and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of them seemed to be, I guess you could call it the ringleader of them, except for... No, I guess you could call it the ringleader. He was a bit stronger and bulkier, and he buffed the other ones up, made him a bit stronger.
But, you know what? When we fought the one at the Wendy's, there was a couple guys that had, like, locked it in the fridge and I think they were calling a team to pick it up, probably from the meat plant.
Right, the Golden Way stuff. I mean, that's how we got turned
Yeah.
into the meatpacking plant.
Correct.
And that was the same truck that was at the breakfast place that I was at when I was attacked. It was a Golden Way truck.
Which tracks, but I mean, do we assume that the lady in red had a stock of meat for a special tasting event that happened to come from a meat packing plant that we destroyed a couple weeks ago? That doesn't track.
It might not just be the meat.
Yeah, we should do some more digging.
Is it possible some of this stuff could have come from, like, a different plant off the island?
I mean, anything's possible, but at the same time, the lady in red's supposed to be
Local?
local, but
More premier, right?
exactly. It's not the sort of place that should be using frozen anything, at least more than necessary. I wouldn't expect them to get supplies from somewhere like Golden Way. I mean, yeah, it's still...
You know, we blew it up. So, is this old stock that they've been saving, or...
Well, that's what I'm saying. A premier
yeah.
high-end restaurant like this isn't going to have months-old frozen stock in their freezer. I mean, there's supposed to be Kobe beef there tonight.
Maybe they branched out the company, trying to reach out to different types of venues.
Well, it's not. I mean, that wasn't the only Golden Way plant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a mom-and-pop corporation, for crying out loud. So we know they're no good.
Yeah.
But now it looks like the connection with Wendy's isn't a coincidence.
No, definitely not.
I'm trying to remember. I remember when we did our initial scouting of the meat plant, there was, like, the whole slaughterhouse aspect to it, right? Not just, like, getting in the meat and, like, packing it.
Correct.
Okay. Because, yeah, like, a high-end place isn't going to be getting, as you were saying, like, months old or, like, frozen anything. Maybe they have connections with, like, I don't know, a ranch or something that raises the cattle. And, like, instead of getting it from the plant, they get it from that source, where the plant gets the same stuff anyway, just puts it out a couple days later and frozen.
Could be one of the other stations. Because we had Station 2 and 3 that we destroyed, right?
But 3 was a detention center. Right?
Yeah. And 2 was a meat packing plant.
Or right,
What
2
might
being
1 be?
research.
Yeah.
And does it stop at 3? These are the fun
Yeah.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't call that fun, but
Dave flicks his cigarette off the balcony, motions as he walks back inside. He goes over to the fridge, rifling through it, and pulls out some cold cuts, tomatoes, lettuce, starting to make a sandwich. You guys hungry? I certainly came and threw up that horrible shit once I fucking got back.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'd take a sandwich if you're offering.
He begins. He's making sandwiches.
I'll help him if he lets me.
Sure.
Oh, and before we had gone, before we had met up there, we'd done a little, I guess, patrolling around the island. We went and visited KT for a little bit, and she pointed out a couple of these like weird murder scenes where like there was like this ritualistic shit done.
Oh yeah, there's been whispers,
like connections, but it had, if I remember correctly, the weird totem things that were like left there were like the ones the girl had in Station 2 that y'all saw, right?
Yeah. Have you seen this? Have you seen the picture of the murder scenes?
No, have you got him?
Yeah, I've got one. And so I'll open up my backpack and pull out the photograph KT gave me. Hand it to him.
He kind of balks at it for a second.
Gruesome.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Nice appetizer.
This job's a lot of fun sometimes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Helps you build up a strong stomach.
He hands knifing a sandwich. Carly, obviously, you had your own. You see he pushes one with a single finger over toward you, Ricochet. I put a little extra meat in this one. I'm sure you'd eat it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like we were in Station 2, and there was, in those pens, right, we saw a little girl who did this like, same exact totem, but like with these little Barbie action figure plastic doll parts. And now we're seeing this out in the real world with human. I mean, could this all of these be coincidences all at the same time?
I think you might be reaching just a little bit, Rico. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to all be grand web of conspiracy. Multiple spooky things can happen all at once.
Well, on this island, but at the same time, that's pretty specific.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? Thinking the thing got out, or are we talking about a spirit finding a new host?
I mean, it sounds more like...
I was asking the others.
And this is where I've got the question of, did it get out or was it let out? Because when we were in the station before it went up, while we were there, big like blast doors sealed off those sections.
Yeah. Those sections were disconnected from the rest of the building. It could have survived the blast.
And this is where, like, did it, get out whenever, sometime after that? Or did some, people come pick up the spooky shit there and let some of it out? Because there was also some of the Teddy Tall Tales in there. One fucking weird one.
You're talking the super aggressive one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
but
one.
It was clear that there could be more than one Teddy Tall Tale. There could be more than one of these as well.
Well, as a refresher, there were 4 Teddy Tall Tales in total down that hall.
Yeah.
So we know.
Yeah, 3 of them were playing.
And then one was isolated.
Yeah.
Just, refresher, making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was only one evil little girl, but there were multiple Teddy Tall Tales, which shows that there could be more than one evil child. If that's the right terminology for that. Demented? I don't fucking know.
Demon child?
Possessed. Bane possessed. Whatever the hell kind of Fomori this is. There was a weird thing at the playground earlier. You guys saw the graffiti on the playground? The little kid with a knife?
Yeah, I remember we spotted that, and it was just really fucking weird, because the playground was also where one of the crime scenes were, and it got cleaned up.
Which is not all that uncommon. You guys,
Usually not here.
you guys were talking before about a cleanup crew over at the that crime scene house with the gorehounds?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
When the girl made the butterflies.
And we saw a lot of those vans in Station 2.
Yeah, anytime this bad shit happens, they're right there, making sure no one knows about it.
They clearly know about it.
Well, they do, but they don't want anyone else knowing.
Well, it feels like first things first. We should probably go back to the scene, scope things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe want us to go ahead of you? You check us in, you're gonna come with, and
She should be out for a while. He finishes half of his sandwich, wrapping the other in a paper towel, handing it to Ricochet.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Shall we?
let's go.
Yeah.
Dave grabs his bloody shirt off the chair on the way out, wadding it into a ball. As you exit, he swings by one of the dumpsters, tossing it inside. Can't have her asking questions.
It is
Sure.
very fair. Has she done any of the weird stuff like KT has? Because remember, we were brought up, me and Ricochet were brought to the island because of dreams about her originally.
No. So far, she seems to be completely normal.
Yeah.
No butterflies or Gorgon attacks.
Harley just looks mildly confused and is trying to process that new information.
Well, feel free to ask it. I mean, but maybe
Yeah.
my character. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah. I always just assumed you were here for KT.
Eventually, yes. When our original group was brought to the island, it was because we had all been having the same dream about, well, what we later figured out was about Lucin when we saw her getting attacked
Well,
and everything.
Well, we had gotten dreams about KT, but we switched targets when it just so happened KT caught them in Krynos,
Have mercy.
and it was easier for me to get close to Lucinda.
And then we eventually started having a few dreams about KT.
Sure, one of you did.
Trying to interject this less. But, yeah.
Just gonna shrug my shoulders. Yeah, it happens.
The one that I know about is it was one of those weird visions from Gaia sort of dreams that we all 3 or 4 originally had.
Nice.
Any others I don't know about.
Now I look at Dave and I'm like, yeah, well, it seems you two are pretty close. Is she able to tell you anything else on this island? Or is it just kind of, you're having fun?
Dave flashes a sideways glance toward Ricochet and presses on. Enjoy that sandwich. I'm sure you're very hungry.
I am, thank you.
As you guys get closer, Dave starts to take point, ducking in between an alley, trying to stay out of direct sight. It doesn't appear that anyone's watching. However, he seems to be being extra cautious.
Yeah.
We'll follow the same steps then.
Trusting his instincts here.
Yep.
Let's get a dex stealth out of y'all's.
Okay. What difficulty?
Standard diff.
Okay.
Oh no.
God, it's not a botch. It's not a botch.
4.
Big ol' nothing.
3. I have 3 decks and 0 stealth, and I got all 3.
All fucking good.
6, 6, 10.
Alright. 2 of you. Should be the 2/3 pack. One of you fucks up every time.
Seems that way.
It certainly does.
Oh, 3/4 ass pack. Okay. Following Dave's lead, Carly and Ricochet slowly move through the dark of the nearby alleys, keeping out of direct sight. Suddenly, a skittering and a small banging as Nightfang kicks an empty milk crate into a trash can, which scares a rat. It's a sudden clamor, but dies down almost immediately afterwards, with no lasting consequence.
Like, it's that moment of, like, he kicks it and immediately just fucking freezes. Like, fuck.
Stop.
Sorry.
Let's stop. Turn around. Go. Shh.
I thought you stargazers were supposed to be graceful.
It's been a long day.
Dave takes a few more steps, going to the edge of the alley, peeking around. He gives a bit of a nod, crosses the street, moving the long way around the back of a building and across into another alley. He stops near a dumpster.
Follow suit.
Uh-huh.
Putting an extra, 5 feet between me and whoever's last in line, just in case.
Perception rolls, please and thank you.
Two.
2.
1.
Okay.
Another die for die jail.
You can see that it's dark out. The sun has set. The air is cooler. The alley doesn't smell particularly nice, but you've definitely had worse, especially Ricochet. There's some clutter. It's definitely in need of cleaning, despite the fancier part of town. Or one of the fancier parts of town. There's something going on in the distance. Like across the street. You think you see the sign for the lady in red, but based on your rolls, you're not entirely sure if that's it or not. You just see a vague shape. And some other shapy things. It's the best you could see from your current vantage point. You'd have to get closer and roll better
Gonna take a few steps forward and get closer to Dave and go, what do you see? And as I move forward, here's another roll.
I mean, you guys are already with him. How closer are you trying to get to Dave?
As close as he got, I guess. Or a little bit farther up.
Well, I was assuming you were, maybe me to you.
Yeah, so like more or less stacked up.
Right.
Okay, here's
At the restaurant?
another roll then.
Yeah, it's the restaurant.
4 for me.
So you only hit 3.
5 on Dex.
Oh, you're doing another perception roll.
Perception alertness, yeah.
No.
It's only 3 if it's a higher difficulty now.
No, I didn't say that either. You kind of went rogue on your roll, bud.
Yeah, well then
we didn't you have to move closer. So you have to roll to move first. I need another stealth roll first.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see fucking anything from here.
Exactly. It's the penalty for not being able to, for fucking up the roll. You're going to have to get closer.
2.
Okay.
Gonna also attempt and spend a willpower.
That's an idea. Ricochet, you slink closer. Just narrowly dodging, stepping on. You're not sure what that is.
Garbage.
But you managed to step over it. And creep over behind a couple trash cans. Anything.
5 for his stealth roll with the willpower.
All right. You deftly maneuver. Doing some sort of silent parkour move. Hopping on each side of the alley. You grab hold of a fire escape and swing up. Fuck it. You do. Why not? You get a little bit of height. But are about the same place where your packmate is, just, like 8 feet up.
Yeah.
A little higher vantage point.
Yeah. And Carly, were you joining along with that? And follow that stupid jack move I invented for him?
Sure. Let's see.
Yep.
He wanted to make up for the shit before, so he did something incredibly reckless and dangerous.
Yep.
They'll like me if I pull this off.
Exactly what I was
3.
thinking.
That's 3 for the stealth.
All right. So you two manage to shift your way closer, get a better view. And let's get those perceptions again.
Four.
Actually, let's call that a diff 5. I'm going to shave one off because you got closer.
Still 4.
3.
All right.
3 as well.
Okay, look at that. Everybody did it. Woo. It is, in fact, the lady in red across the street. Not directly, just a little bit to the left, but you're able to see the parking. The sign is off, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that there is a cleanup crew actively erasing the night's events from existence. You see 2 large crates that could only be described as overgrown pet carriers being loaded into a box truck. Sounds can be heard from inside. You see 5 men in coveralls moving in and out various paces, taking, body bags, tables, and, tablecloths. They're cleaning up.
I'll be damned. That was fast.
Slowly making my way back down.
Dave has moved up to join you.
Yeah. Cleaning up already.
See what I mean? Like, they knew it happened immediately. Like, they've been watching and waiting.
Or maybe it's like, banks, there's a panic button or something somewhere in places connected to Golden Way.
Is it that immediate? You had time to finish off what was inside there, get to me, have a drink and a sandwich and a nice little conversation.
Yeah.
I make this, what, a 10-minute drive from where the plant was?
If
Yeah.
they're still operating out of that location.
Which, with the job that Far 4 did, probably not. But who's to say they don't have a closer location nearby? Listen, I want to check on a couple odds and ends. Why don't you keep an eye on these guys? Strictly recon. Don't get into too much trouble. Let's,
do.
Got it.
let's meet at the parking lot on J Street. About midnight. And do some digging. Compare notes.
Got it.
Dave takes a few steps back and slowly shifts down to his lupus form before darting out to the other end of the alley.
Okay. So we keep an eye on them, keep watch. They start moving. We tail them as far as we can. So midnight hits.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those cages in that truck, there's movement. There's sounds.
And
We didn't get all of them?
I'm guessing. Or maybe
Maybe
something
they-
popped off after.
Yeah, maybe they formed after we had left.
Or it had a survival instinct.
They were carrying the cages out, correct?
That's correct.
Hmm.
What are the chances that the cleanup crew proper and the van with the cages, because it's multiple vans, right? Or is it just the one?
I should be more specific. You have two vans that you are accustomed to seeing with this kind of nonsense.
Hmm.
And then a box truck, and I want to be clear. When I say the box truck, I mean the U-Haul, right? With the box
Okay.
connected, not the semi with the trailers. All right? The one you're loading up to move a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere. Not
Okay.
the whole house.
The box connected to the truck?
Yes.
Or
Correct.
separate? Okay. Okay.
Guys, that's a very real difference.
So just in case they split up or anything, I think we should probably, like if the truck with the cages is going to a different place, like, another detention center and the other crew is going to wherever their HQ is or whatnot. If they split up at all, do we want to go ahead and decide which ones we're following? Like, are we sticking with the cages or are we sticking with the cleanup crew?
Well, see, that's the tough decision here because what we thought would have been the HQ has been blown up.
Oh, it was the research place.
Or Station 2.
Yeah.
So they have a new one?
Or there's like a Station 1 or a Station 4.
But at the same time, whatever's in those cages that went into that box truck,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whatever's in those cages that needs to die.
yeah, because apparently we didn't get the first time, which, how the fuck does that happen?
Blade blow or delayed reaction.
I mean, you saw that last one form while we were still fighting.
Or maybe we didn't quite kill it, and it played possum.
I don't like
That is
either of those
weird.
answers, but they're they're both real possibilities.
But this is where I'm like, I want to get this planned ahead of time, just a little bit. Of which do we think is more important? Finding out, like, if they split up and one takes whatever's in those cages to wherever they're holding everything else, probably. Or if the cleanup crew is going to some other location, probably like Station 2. There might be more info there.
No, you're right. And I think we find out what the new HQ is.
If they split up, it's just planning ahead just a little bit, but
I hear
otherwise
ya.
it's just follow them and see where they go.
I hear you, boss. You're right. But if we need to split up, if they split up,
Yeah,
And yeah,
we're
we-
not fucking splitting up.
no, we follow the clue
Vans?
trail. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're going to get the most information. Hell, we might get lucky and they both go to the same place.
Yep. Just planning for, just trying to plan ahead for when things go inevitably wrong. Because it's never that simple.
Fair. Yeah.
At least not on this island.
Nor with our luck.
You think being from Vegas, I'd have better luck.
Maybe it stayed in Vegas.
Maybe.
You notice one of the men walks toward a payphone at the end of the parking lot and makes a call.
If I go into the alley and shift onto Lupus, could I potentially try to overhear with the both senses of hearing?
You can try. I see no way of stopping you.
It was just one of those things of is that a reasonable
I think it's
thing
reasonable
to try?
Okay. I mean, I'm not in charge of your roles, but I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those is this reasonable or just don't even fucking roll?
No, it's...
Yeah, so stamina fine with urge, diff 6.
Watch. It's too late. He can't willpower. All right.
Yep. Perception, primal urge to try hearing whatever that guy on the phone is saying.
It will be perception alertness to try to hear what he's saying.
Yeah, alertness. Yep.
I listened so hard I shift back to the Hamid.
Standard diff or...
Yeah, you're in Lupus. Make it a standard diff.
Okay.
As opposed to raising the diff.
Yeah. That's what I was actually checking real quick, because Lupus lowers that diff.
Right, no, exactly. It would have been a diff 8. So, standard diff.
So it's just a normal 6.
Okay. That is 2. Would have been 3, but there was some 1s.
Alright. You shift down to Lupus, focusing up on the man at the phone. You even tilt your head a little bit, so your ear's closer in that direction. Unfortunately, the wind picks up a little bit, drowning out anything he might have said. You catch the words pick up, sir, and all right. Sorry, pick up, all right, and sir. That's the correct order, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Again, those are not all together. Meanwhile, while that man is on the phone, you notice that the box truck has been loaded up and has started. You see 2 of the men head to the vans and a couple inside. The man hangs up the phone and looks at the building as the people inside, make their way out. You can see smoke billowing from the door. The other men get in the van, and the one at the phone watches. You can see the flames start to grow from the inside of the lady in red.
See a way to clean that up.
Satisfied with the condition, he gets this man too gets in the van, one of the vans, and they begin to leave the parking lot. The van's turning left. Sorry, van's turning right, your left. The box truck going in the opposite direction.
We already made the decision.
Let's get moving.
Yeah. They're just we should have done this already, so guess they're cleaning up our mess.
Yeah, I'll shift down to Lupus.
Yep. And then shift down to Lupus to follow.
Yeah, they just weren't actively being, trying to be killed by a bunch of shit.
Then destroying any evidence of them ever being here.
Also evidence of you being there.
That too.
Yep. Yeah, once they're both ready to go, gonna start trying to tail those vans.
Vans over truck.
Yep.
Okay.
like, I'll say this, there was a part of me that's like, oh, do I just go with like the gut decision? I'm like, no, we're going to switch targets immediately, even though we just discussed this. There was just that little part of me that's like, even I knew my players would probably do something like that.
Wow.
But at the same time, it's like, no, we already discussed this. Let's go.
I mean, there it is, though, right? Monsters or crew.
Yep. Crew might lead to information. Monsters might just lead to more monsters.
Okay. That's reasonable. That is not. So, what I want from you people is I'm going to ask for a stealth roll. Diff 5.
Okay.
Yeah, start there.
Two.
3.
5.
All right.
I have 3 dice.
One of you is good at your job.
Did you forget your Lucas dice?
Yeah. Thanks. Doesn't matter. It was a 4 and a 4.
Well, first of all, make the whole roll. Don't just do the 2. Just re-roll the whole thing.
3 things.
You're welcome.
Order is a kind ST.
It's a crap difficulty because they don't know to be looking for you. And I'm not having you fuck that roll up unless it's a botch.
All right, then 4. So thank you.
All right. I just get this image of, like, Carly, like, recessed in the background, fucking ducking behind cars and shit and slinking by. And then Night Fang, you know, keeping a healthy distance and sticking to the shadows, and Ricochet just walk in the middle of the road.
Try to be in their blind spot.
Little forward, little back, little forward, little back. Oh crap, oh crap.
He's serpentining
on a bike.
They can't shoot me if I do this.
Right. See, they'll just be in a different position every time they look. They won't think anything of it. But okay, excellent. Much better.
Yes.
So you start trailing the vans. Hooray. They're clearly not aware of you. They're driving the speed limit. This is fucking easy.
Oh yeah, they're trying to be...
Not trying nothing. They're just driving.
They're just driving. They're inconspicuous.
Minding their own business.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile... you hear sirens in the distance. Coming up quick.
Oh yeah. Well, they just lit this place on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, fire truck comes raging down from the direction well, you know where the firehouse is. It's up on Main Street. Comes raging in from the north. The siren's blaring. It's a cop car in pursuit. It's being taken care of. The real heroes are here.
Hey, if you check that response time, it's fitting for a upper scale area.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That thing had the worst roll.
Yep.
Yeah. It comes, the cop car comes careening around the corner. You hear the horn quickly as it swerves to narrowly avoid hitting your lupus ass. Stay low to the ground. Hopefully they'll just think you're a dog. Bigger fish, right?
Yep.
And
Dog or coyote or fire.
odds are even, Tyson.
Even.
And the cop car goes right on by.
So are they going further into town or like out or on the edges so far?
Well, we are continuing to move east, right?
Mhm.
They were, Lady in Red was a little bit not too far from City Hall.
Mhm.
I want to say a couple blocks. So narrowly missing. The cop continues on. You continue following. The van's headed east and then turning south. You are a good 2 blocks back, keeping your distance.
Any guesses where we might be ending up?
Nope.
No. Another station.
I mean, yeah, but like general area. 'Cause- So they were heading to the east end and then they started to go south, or got to the east end and started to go south.
Might be heading back towards the industrial area, just taking a long way around to avoid detection.
That's part of what I'm thinking. Or are they gonna start heading out of town, kind of like to the opposite side from the Golden Way plant?
I don't know. Could be.
At least they haven't split up yet, so that's further. Because if they go into the industrial area, I know if I remember correctly, that's where Station 2 was roughly.
Correct.
Just outside, yeah.
Or not Station 2, Station 3.
Yes.
That too.
The detention center. Because I don't remember what the Magnifique did with it, or if we ever found out exactly whenever they hit it.
Yeah, none of them want to talk about it. But you gotta think too that Station 2's gone, right? That was the meat packing. This place is an island. They're not gonna. What are they gonna do? Import cows here? They just need another place for meat.
Well, yeah, but these guys might not be going there. Ideally, these guys are going to, like, I don't know, fucking operations versus development, detention, research. That was kind of like my hope, at least, whenever we decided to follow them.
So that box truck is where the meat is going.
Or
don't know,
wherever they're doing
maybe.
the new research area.
Or a detention center.
Yeah.
All of
They seem to build
above.
things pretty fast in this town.
Yeah, I mean, the meat plant was a great place for, hiding sketchy, shady, secret evil bases, so I could understand wanting to keep that location. We're introducing demolition season and construction season if they keep trying there.
I have no clue where they're going.
Just keep following
I
it
guess
then.
we'll just find out.
Heading south, continuing to follow the vans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're heading south, or you're going to continue following the vans?
Well, then you said the vans turned. They were going east and they turned south.
Yes, but I also said they're about 2 blocks ahead of you at the time.
Yeah.
So are you
Gonna
following
keep
them,
on-
or are you just heading south?
Follow.
Because, that matters.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have an idea of where they're going well enough yet to
Right. Try and cut them
guess
off.
and be like,
Which
yeah.
is why I'm asking. Because
yeah.
maybe you just head south and fucking you never see them again.
Mhm.
No, following them.
Or
Or something's happening.
no, you're okay.
Animal control not getting called because of a stray.
Right. All right, yeah. You poured on a little bit to make up a little bit of the distance, seeing as you lost sight of them. But you managed to turn the corner in time to see them following south. It's a couple blocks still. And you just see them, just in the nick of fucking time. It's not a great roll on their part. See them hang a right, going into Midtown.
I mean, checking the map again, just make sure I'm tracking this. So we're going into Midtown now. If they keep going south, then yeah, very easily reach Station 2 again, or...
Right, so they cut south. Yeah, they cut south, and now they're going back west.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, big old just U-turn, basically.
Basically, but I mean, they went several blocks.
Yeah.
Don't lose the scent.
I mean, don't have much to scent right now, so aside from, exhaust and car, just gotta keep an eye on them, just maybe get a little closer in case they pull another one of those turns.
Yeah.
Are you guys speeding up?
Since we almost missed that turn.
Yeah,
Probably a good idea.
Not right up on them, though. Try and stay a block behind.
I mean, it's still speeding up, though, so, but that's your block behind, that's the goal. All right. Dex Athlet. That was not a roll. That was just me dropping dice.
Hey.
3.
5.
5.
2/3.
I mean, 3 is not bad.
No, three is a success.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything under 3 is you kind of did it.
Yeah.
3 is you fucking got it, but All right. You guys start to speed up, making up for some of that distance, especially with the losing sight of them around the corner. Nightfang and Carly in the lead. You both quickly slow down and scamper, hiding behind some street parking. As you see that the two vans have pulled in to a car wash. That's one of those open-air, do-it-yourself ones. Ricochet,
like pulled into one of the bays?
Ricochet, since you were lagging behind, you have time to, so we ain't gotta worry about rolls. Yeah, one of the open doors ones where they got like the little tunnels, I guess. Yeah. There's a van in each bay, or they're in separate bays. They're each pulled into a bay, is what I want to articulate.
Were the vans dirty at all?
I mean, no one wrote "wash me" on them. And there's levels here, right?
Yeah.
Of course, while this is going on, they've got out of the vans, put in the money. They got the spray, the wash thing. You will note that they have opened the back of the vans and are rinsing out the insides.
Interesting.
Can I do a perception alertness for smell?
Sure.
Five.
All right. Is there something you're looking for?
I guess it's more of, is there anything familiar that I smell in that as they're trying to clean it all out?
Is there something you're looking for?
Something like blood,
what's being cleaned out of the van?
Well, I mean, this is what I'm talking about here, right? Because, you smell oil and exhaust and body odor and water and cleaning supplies and blood and grease and a hint of chicken, maybe some basil. And, I mean, you had a really good roll with your lupus senses. You're going to pick up a lot of shit. A lot of shit's going to be familiar. So if there's something you're specifically looking for, I can be more helpful. Because, you smell a lot of things you've smelled before.
I guess it's more of what's being cleaned out of it as it's being...
Well, clearly,
You're
inside.
still smelling it all at
Blood,
once.
grease.
Yeah. What you're looking for is blood and grease.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And that's, quickly going away as it's being rinsed the fuck out. Disinfectant is going to be the order of the day. Soap and, yeah. But I mean, yeah, obviously this is, stuff for cleaning. That's a terrible sentence.
Yeah. I figured they'd do this back at, like, whatever HQ they are in case, somebody sees. But then again, it is the dead of night.
Well, you dicks keep blowing stuff up, so...
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do it again shortly.
And
Or in the near future.
poor Uncle Roy's car wash.
I will say, seeing them pull into like one of these do-it-yourself car washes, I'm a little disappointed because when I saw like the car wash sign in the distance, I thought it'd be like one of the ones you drive through and like they'd go in and we wouldn't see the vans coming out and boom, secret base.
I mean, that would have been cool.
And it's a nice thing just kind of filling the air while we're sitting here waiting.
Yeah. Guess we're not that lucky.
Or maybe, home base wants clean vehicles when they return them. Unless these are somebody's actual vans, but I doubt so. They're painted with that weird, like, forget me green, right?
They are not.
Oh, okay.
These are your standard whites.
Okay.
That made them way harder to see if they were green.
Yeah. Probably something I should have asked originally, but...
That is true. I probably should have offered it as well, so my bad too.
Not even then.
Question. I could roll a perception alertness for this if needed. But what do the tags look like? Are they within the state?
Yeah, they're local. I won't make you roll for that. That's dumb.
Yeah, so local tags. I mean, they have local tags, so I'm guessing these are not rentals.
Would rentals not have local tags?
Oftentimes, rental cars have tags from different states.
Huh.
Would Carly know that?
She's a military brat.
Yes, she is. Hey, I get to test you every now and then.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, and
She
that's
moved
why...
around a lot, so it's a high possibility that her mother had rented cars at some point in time, or they rented cars during moving from state to state.
Point of fact, I feel like that's a question they should have asked.
Oh, yeah, it
How
is.
do you know that?
I mean, that's kind of what I think, yes. Like, wouldn't the rental agency have the local tags?
No, oftentimes rental agencies have tags from different states because the cars travel all over the place. You can rent a car and travel from one state to the next and then drop it off at their same company.
I just always figured they'd go, like, they'd have somebody driving back.
I feel like
I don't know.
that would be a real waste of gas and resources.
I mean, I guess. I guess I'm just too used to just seeing tons of tourists all over the place.
The crews are, hard at work, quickly washing up the vans. 2 men, however, are not participating in this and are just outside the area, the splash zone, if you will. Look like they're conversing, sharing a cigarette. Not sharing a cigarette, but each smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hear your turn. It's
Gross.
It would be gross.
How romantic.
You don't know, it might be a pair.
It seems like a very intimate thing to do.
Or desperate and one really needs to smoke.
Yeah, fair.
Well, that's where you smoke half and you give him the other half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's tradesies,
Yeah, that's friendship, but back and forth is romanceship.
Yeah.
Try listening in on them this time to see if anything important can actually be heard.
Feel free to make your roll if you want to try.
Yeah.
I shall also help.
I'm just going to keep an eye on what they're cleaning out. See if we can see anything specific.
Well, you're gonna have to make some rolls to get closer.
Okay.
Standard
first.
diff
Yes. Yes.
with lupus already applied or without?
Without.
Is that
You get
Okay.
yeah.
okay? Because that matters just a little bit. It takes it from a 3 to a 4. So 4 successes for trying to overhear the two talking.
3 successes for trying to overhear.
All right. You can the water spouts, going to town. But it is not enough to drown them out, just making it a little less convenient.
Maybe have to go just a little ways.
And just, focus a bit. It's not like the wind picked up like you screwed the one roll that wasn't good enough. You guys are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julie's starting high school and up in the fall. The money they spend on clothes these days, it's ridiculous. Yeah, she's that age. It's a daughter. That's got to be a nightmare. I mean, Ray, he's going to be a junior this year. All I got to worry about is him knocking somebody up. I'd knock a couple cents out of him, get him a pack of condoms. He'll be fine, I hope. I couldn't imagine doing this with a daughter. And continues on like that. Just small talking about the families.
I think very quickly loses interest.
No, Ray's straight out for the team this year. He's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll be the next Warhound.
Dex stealth to get a little bit closer.
Yep. Diff 7.
1.
You better have worked on that dog impersonation.
One of the guys nudges the other, pointing at you directly. Ricochet, sorry. Hey, look at that. What is that, a fucking coyote?
And I can hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't want to pretend to, be sniffing the garbage.
Yeah, I heard there was some around here. I don't think it was real. Let's get the fuck out of here. I think it's probably a rabbit. Hey, boys. Let's pack it up. All right, Ricochet, you're a bit busy playing dumb. But Carly and Nightfang, you can see that the other man is reaching to his back. You see he's pulling a pistol. Oh, man, I think maybe get me a pelt.
There's a part of me that's like, he can soak it. And then another part of what's Nightfang going to do? It's try and make a distraction that might cause even more problems. Because I assume we've heard them talk about, it might be a coyote.
No, yeah, you guys got the good perception roll, so you definitely hearing all this shit. And then, Ricochet has gotten closer, so of course he's hearing it. Your own lupus.
Yeah, and so once I hear her, when I get me a pelt, I'd be like, pretend to walk away now.
You're going to pretend to walk away, or you're going to walk away?
Like nothing.
You should start stamping up and down and not going anywhere.
Like at this point,
heading to an alley.
Yeah, it's the garbage no longer interests me. I'm walking away.
All right. While that's happening, are you two getting involved, or are you just observing?
I'm going to hope that Rico gets out of the way and maintain my hiding space.
Okay. Nightfang?
Nightfang's very all defense about it, but going to observe, he can soak it.
All right. The second man reaches over and pushes the first man's arm down, keeping the gun up. What are you doing, man? We can't fire this. You can't offer it here, man. Don't draw too much attention. You taking stupid pills? And they banter a bit more and get in the vans. And begin to drive off.
And as they start driving off, we'll give a little, yip to let Rico know we're moving.
All right. Then I wait till I see you two moving, and then I'll follow.
How much room you giving him?
Gonna try sticking about as close as we were this last time, so not gonna hang as far back since we almost lost him that one time. So give him about a block instead of the 2 blocks that we did the first time.
Okay.
At least that's what that thing's doing.
I don't take issue with your speed, but you are going to be giving me a dex stealth again?
Yep.
All 3 of us?
Oh, absolutely. You were spotted.
Yep. So they're on the lookout, or
Yep.
at least aware something's going, or something's up.
And you're looking to follow pretty fucking close.
Which is why I wait for them to go before I do.
And I'm spending that willpower.
So am I.
I want to be clear on this, because you just threw that in, and that feels like a trick. Nightfang is speeding up. He wants to get about a block behind. I have not heard from Carly. I need to confirm.
I'm going to hang with Nightfang.
Okay. So you two, yeah, we're going to need that stealth roll because that's really fucking close. Now you're going with them, or you said you were waiting, or you're going with them? Which is it?
Once I see them go, then I go.
Okay. So you are going to be hanging with them?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, that's the 3 of you. That's a diff 8.
Yep.
I am spending a willpower.
And spending that willpower as well. I already marked it up.
All right. Now, 3 lupus following a block behind after one has been spotted, that is a diff 8.
Yeah. Good thing I spent that willpower.
That's 2 for me. I got close. It could have been 3, too.
3 for me.
3 for me.
And you said 2?
Correct.
Oof.
And that would have been awesome for me, but then a 1 came and fucked it up.
On a diff 8, that's still pretty good for me.
Okay. Nightfang and Carly you're cutting it close, but you are aware of that. Being incredibly careful. You manage to try to stay out of the view streetlights, being mindful of any particular signs. You're doing your best to stay as obfuscated as humanly possible. Or garrully possible? You're being cautious, but you're following along.
Cautiously reckless.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, our guy Ricochet you're doing your best to follow along. There seems to be just a level of coordination that's not with you today. Maybe you cut your pad of your foot on some glass or something. I don't know what, but you're not quite as in sync. You're not sitting duck. You're not running through spotlights and dancing and howling and yipping, but the van comes to an abrupt stop. It's like a brake check. You see someone's head. The second van, the first one. What's going on? You see whoever's riding shotgun. You see a head kind of peek out. Looking behind. And starts to go again. It's a little faster.
Okay. Yeah, because if I see it stop, then I would try and turn the corner as fast as I could to get out of the view.
I think that would draw more attention. But I'm not giving you the chance to do it. So you're safe. So those things, like if you see, duck down real quick. No, well, they'll see the movement that you duck down.
And we'll just, seeing them stop and freezing for a moment in our own spot. Just gonna look back to Ricochet and once again quickly get back of keep a further distance. Follow us.
Seems like the van sped up.
Yeah.
Like it might have heard a yip. Open window and...
I assumed he rolled it back up after,
You fool.
Yeah. Doing best to keep up with it and probably give him a little bit more space.
Right, you wisely decide to drop back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's not a whole lot of cars on the road this time of night.
Mm-hmm.
Which, wouldn't that be nice that I didn't have to factor that in?
Yep.
We also said back alleys, so it's...
It would still be
Well,
a
that was
lot
earlier.
of like...
That was when they were stationary and you could spy on them. That's not... It doesn't work following a moving vehicle.
Mhm. It would be a lot of like, okay, we're going to guess they're going to try going left, so we're going to cut down this alley versus running down the middle of the street.
Right. Okay.
We're not just like, yeah, stay out of lights.
Yep, sorry. All right. Well, you do continue on. Right. You can run these vans down if you're so inclined. So you're, you're not doing that. But you're able to keep a respectful distance and not worry about it at this juncture. They only travel maybe another mile or so before pulling off into a familiar storage facility. You see them park the vans in the lot, and the gentlemen inside start to disperse, getting into various personal vehicles.
Is this the storage facility station 2 or 3?
3.
3, okay.
This should have been where
It was
you...
2.
Yeah, where Carly and...
That's where you were held.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering which storage facility. Because both of them were kind of storage facilities.
Well, no, it was a meatpacking plant.
Yeah, it was meatpacking and storage.
It had storage.
It had storage.
I mean, so does my apartment.
I was
I was trying
clarifying
to
for
help
me.
But this is Station 3, which, hey, this is still a problem.
Yeah, at this point, you see the various men, they, a couple handshakes, a couple see you laters, and everyone hops into their own personal vehicles and begins to make their way.
And that wraps up this week's episode of Rage Across the Internet. We hope you enjoyed the game.
Remember, we'll be back in 2 weeks for our next episode, but don't miss our regular episode next week, where we discuss Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the show, please check out our Ko-Fi and join us on Discord. The link can be found on the forums at
rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com.
And as always, keep your claws sharp, your head in a swivel. See you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.